Hello and greetings, everyone, from a galaxy far, far away and somehow into the future. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Hello, everybody. This is Tabletop Junkie bringing you guys a nice Tuesday stream with my good co host here, Sparta Chris. And today,
Hi,
Yep.
hi, folks.
And today, we're going to bring you some Star Wars talk. Da da da! Star Wars!
Do 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 do.
There you go. Keep singing it, Chris. You got it. You got the tune.
Oh no, I can't because Disney after all.
Can't copyright your voice. Technically, they probably could. Let's not push that.
I
Damn it.
know that's why I stopped.
Bitches. All right. Well, they can't. You know what? Let's just not even start a conversation with they can't because they go, yes, we can, yes, we can, yes, we can, and yes, we did. That's how they do it.
It's Disney.
Yeah, tell me about it. Well, we're not here to bash Disney and their so-called wonderful works.
I can
And
hear
now-
I can hear you cringing.
I am like smile. I got this shit-eating grin of, oh god, I hated saying every word of that.
I do not blame you.
I was trying to pull a Stewie Griffin where he goes, "You're good. Your merits are good enough already." No, it's like, just put on a smile. And then if we have to put on a Sheldon Cooper smile, damn it, this is hard.
Just put on a smile and hope you don't have to hurl.
Yeah, too late for that. Much, much too late for that. All right, well, so we got the TJ Vision on. Woohoo! So we're going to close this in just a little bit. There we go. So before we begin with TJ Vision, I guess I should just... So I just want to let everybody know, Sparta Chris just found this out. This is our background for when we play Star Wars. It's just hidden behind all of our giant asses.
Yeah.
You know, so... Well, one of the things we're going to do, we're going to bring you guys some Star Wars talk. Let's start with, you know what? Let's start off with, aside from the original trilogy era, let's word it like that. There's a lot of eras in the Star Wars universe. Aside from the original trilogy, which would encompass, and maybe even the prequels, and we don't talk about the last three. Nobody talks about the last three.
There are no last three. After episode 6, that all of it's in books and games.
Yep, there we go. We're gonna go with that because I have to tell myself that they did all those, those actors. I feel bad because I actually like Adam Driver as an actor. I think
he's a good actor.
He is an awesome actor. I loved him with Bill Murray and The Dead Doesn't Stay Dead. I think that's what it's called, or Things Don't Die, something like that. But that's supposed to be a stupid comedy. I actually have that film. Maybe we'll watch that tonight.
I've seen it once. It was okay. It wasn't as funny
I
as
thought
I would have wanted it to be.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it took a dangerous, I don't know, it just took a turn. Anyway,
The Dead Don't Die.
Yeah, Daisy Ridley. I actually have seen Daisy Ridley in other films and did not recognize her without her in the Rey uniform. That was kind of sad.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her in anything else outside of that. I know that I do know that she's been in other projects, but from my understanding, they haven't really taken off.
Well, I've seen a couple. I think there was a couple, and I've seen a couple, so she's okay.
There was, I think, one movie where she was in with the Tom Holland, the actor who plays Spider-Man.
Yep.
And
I think that was Uncharted.
No. It was some kind of action movie where, like, some kind of post-apocalyptic movie where he thought everything that he thought everyone could hear, or something like that. I don't know. It was weird.
Let's see.
Like, no one remembers it. So
Now, see, I don't like that. I want to remember it because Tom Holland is a damn good actor coming into his own. Let's see. We have he plays in oh,
Chaos
that's right.
Walking.
Chaos Walking. I was wondering if that was it because that looks like. Oh shit. Oh, that's why nobody remembers it. It's a crappy, shitty writing of like good actors, but crappy writing probably of a sci-fi film.
It's based off of a book, apparently.
So moving back forward here,
Yeah.
all right, moving back forward, and then I'm sorry, Finn. Finn doesn't exist. Finn it will always be. Oh God, what did he play? Admiral. I don't know if he was an admiral, but I know he's the Jaeger pilot from Pacific Rim 2.
Oh, there's also that. Plus, also there was Attack on the Block.
John Boyega.
John Boyega.
Yep, is going to be Jake Pentecost. He is always going to be Jake Pentecost to me. So,
Like I said, he's also that black gang member. I don't want to say gang member, but that's the only thing I can think of as from that movie is Attack on the Block with like aliens invading some random area of London.
and he played in a movie called Detroit. Awesome.
Oh, that was probably the time of the Detroit riots of the 60s.
You know what he should have played in? He should have played. They should have had something like I've been seeing this new game called Being Human, which it was a Carl Urban TV series at one point in time, but it did not take off at all. It was during one of those times where we were just testing water grounds, but he could have probably did well acting in one of those. I mean, like I said, I love Boyega. I think he's a great actor. I'm sorry, he was subjected to Disney scripting bullshit, you know.
Yeah, this is about the Detroit was about the Detroit riots.
We all know Finn is truly force sensitive.
My personal opinion is I didn't care if he was force sensitive. I think so. Here's my take on the whole thing: is that every trilogy had three archetypal characters. You have a pilot, you have a Jedi, and you have a soldier. In the original trilogy, Han is our pilot, Luke is our Jedi, and Leia is our soldier.
I was thinking Chewie was a soldier because Chewie was a soldier during the Clone Wars. I thought too.
Well, he was living on Kashyyyk, which Kashyyyk was primarily neutral during most of the Clone Wars until the CIS killed a Wookiee prince.
They still saved Yoda.
Yes, they did. The prequel trilogy, Anakin was the pilot in a sense. Obi-Wan is the Jedi, and Padme is ironically the soldier, even though she was a bit of a not really a pacifist, but non-violent individual. Though when she needed to, she would fight. And you don't get that in the Disney trilogy. You don't get Rey is basically all three of them. Poe Dameron. What's his face? I can't remember the actor who plays Poe Dameron. But Poe Dameron, he's a pilot, but Rey, she's a pilot too. Finn, yeah, he's a bit of a soldier, but Rey can also fight and everything, and she's also the Jedi. So I mean, she's basically all three of them.
So we got nothing.
Now, yeah. So I mean, what they should have concentrated on Poe, Rey, and Finn being those three archetypes. Poe being the pilot, Rey being the Jedi, and Finn being the soldier. And I think it would have been a very interesting arc for Finn's character from going from being a traitor to the First Order to taking over the Resistance if Leia died during the trilogy, and him rising up to becoming the leader of the Resistance.
Okay, I like that. Fair enough.
I mean, he doesn't have to be a Jedi to be an important character. He can be an important character in other ways.
Right. Absolutely.
And them doing what they did to him screwed over his character. I mean, heck, I actually did. So I actually did like the Rose and Finn romance. Now, I mean, the romance story of how it all happened, questionable. But I did think that was a good thing for Finn, is to get away from chasing after Rey. He has someone else. Oh no, he's now about to be chasing after Rey.
Yeah.
Plus also they made Rose ugly, where Marie, the actress who plays Rose, is a very beautiful woman.
Are you done?
Maybe. I'm just waiting for you to talk again.
Yeah. I'm not thinking that's gonna happen right now. So, I'm waiting patiently.
Sorry.
All right. Let's get to the point of why we actually are here, because we're not here to talk about Disney shit. We're here to talk about, and yes, Disney, you heard me say it. Your stuff is shit.
And there's a growing number of people that are seeing it.
Just slowly deal with it. And Mrs. Tabletop doesn't matter. Her opinion matters not. So
her opinion is your opinion.
Yep, exactly. I'm the leader of this household.
As it should be.
And so, Chris, I hate to say it, we're going to talk about something that you hate most of all.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's all good.
And
he hates it, everybody. He hates it, everybody. I don't think you hate it. It's not anything to do with Disney personally or anything like that. Thank God, right? But it's a little something that I personally like. Hang on one second. We are going to add an image. I just uploaded an image. This is what we're going to talk about today a little bit. We're not going to go like too extent. What the fuck did I do with that?
Did you lose the image?
I lost the image.
Oh, jeez.
Now I gotta figure out why I lost the image. Why isn't... Oh, shit. Where did I put it?
Hold on, folks. For technical difficulties.
Or Tabletop's being a dumbass, but, we won't go there.
Okay, we'll go there.
Alright, we already went there. Now we can't take it back.
No, we can't.
Oh, it's a PNG. So what folder did I put it into? What? What? Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, it didn't download. Oh. Okay. What the fuck did I click then?
You clicked on something.
Well, clearly. I don't know what the hell I clicked. I thought I hit save.
Well, apparently you didn't.
Yes, Chris. Apparently I didn't. All right, now
Good,
here we go.
Handled.
All right. Really?
Yes, really.
Okay. Okay, my computer won't download. Okay, my internet's blocking it. I'm not allowed to download it. Uh-oh, Disney's after me, guys.
I guess send it to me and see if maybe
I got it. Okay. There we go. All right. Ha ha ha. Dun 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 dun. Dun. Okay, hold up.
Oh, lightsaber colors. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel black exists to me. Black is, but white does. So I don't know. That might be bad.
Well, I mean, you have the Darksaber from the Clone Wars and Rebels. And Mandalorian, which ended up destroying the Darksaber and made the whole point about the Darksaber pointless.
This was released on the internet, created by the Eviekens. Oh God, is that saying you're an Ewok, but instead of an Ewok, you're an Eevee? Oh boy.
Let's just not pay attention to that.
Well, Evikens, thank you for posting this, because this is actually something pretty good. Although I will say this, the colors I do not particularly care for. I will name justly the yellow green, the cyan, the light blue, and the Magneta.
That's a
and the indigo.
light blue. You mean magenta?
What did I say, Magneta?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, magenta. There you go. Yeah, folks, Tabletop can't read. You know what? I have something for this.
The only reason why I know anything about magenta, well, I mean, besides maybe seeing the color now and then throughout my life, but also primarily because of Blue's Clues, because magenta was the name of the dog that was Blue's.
Well, the reason why I don't like magenta, yellow, green, cyan, light blue, and indigo is because indigo is a lighter shade of purple. Whereas yellow,
it's a cross between blue and purple.
Yeah, I don't know. If we could justify meaning with it, I'd be okay. I mean,
it is one of the primary colors of the 7-color rainbow.
I'll give it that. All right, but let's talk about some real shit here. So, all right, so we all know in the primary universe there's just blue and green. Usual lightsaber colors mean nothing in the Star Wars canon, but thanks to the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic, they actually gave meaning to these colors, which I actually did not hate that logic. I mean, I felt that logic was actually pretty awesome. You know what they don't have in here is fucking brown. There is a brown lightsaber, guys. Yes, only one Jedi ever had it, but damn. That's all I'm gonna say.
But I mean, there is meaning to the colors in the EU, which it designated like what class of Jedi you were.
Yeah, like Consular, Guardian, or Sentinel. 3 guesses which one's my favorite.
The blue?
No. No, I might have played the Guardian because I think the Guardian focused on their innate abilities with the Force and their blade action. And I think the Counselor focused on their blade action, according to the Knights of the Old Republic game, which I just played today again. Just started it up, and I was like, yep, played like an hour and a half of it.
I mean, the interesting thing so yellow lightsabers are technically supposed to go to the Sentinels, which they were normally the ones that actively went out looking to combat the dark side.
They were the special forces, folks.
In a sense, yes.
And then
after the end of the new Sith Wars, which was the last of the Sith Wars prior to the Clone Wars, the Sentinels were basically retitled the Temple Guardians. So in the Clone Wars, the guys who are carrying around the yellow lightsabers, the Temple Guards, are Sentinels.
Yes.
So I mean, those are probably the ones that Palpatine would be a little more scared to be around because their whole mission was to sense the dark side.
Yep. Blue was for the Guardians that focused on combat and protection. Okay, so I guess maybe Guardians were my favorite. Counselors who are more devoted to mental aspects of the Force. Maybe I should just read these first before I make a comment. Sentinels who had balance of combat and strong focus of exploration of the Force. Yeah, I like that.
So I mean, Obi-Wan was a counselor, but he also had a blue lightsaber, not a green one. And Anakin was a Guardian. Master Syndralic, who was the head of temple security and everything, he was a Sentinel, obviously. But he had 2 colors of lightsabers. He had a blue and green one.
Yes. Well, guys, you guessed it. We're going to talk about lightsabers and stuff like that, and men playing with their swords. I'm just kidding.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with men playing with their swords, just as long as they know how to, not to kill each other.
Oh, yeah.
No restraint.
Yeah, white. Red, white. No, not white. Red lightsabers, red. But anyway, Da-da-da, you guys guessed it. I am going to do some little bit of work here while we talk about lightsabers in Star Wars and maybe some things from the EU. Why am I doing this, folks? Because I haven't done epoxy resin in so many months, and I bought this shit so long ago. I spent like $60 on this shit, and I haven't even used it. So, one of the things we're going to do today, and if I can get around to it, before I let you speak, let me get this out. We are going to make do-it-yourself kyber crystals. I got a bunch of these things. Look at this.
Now, I mean, to kind of be clear about some things for some people is kyber crystals weren't in the EU. Kyber crystals weren't the only crystal that you could use for lightsaber crystals.
Excuse me, everybody. Let me get this blasphemous heathen out of here. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's true. You could use a crate dragon pearl, which was hard to find. Yeah. Although, let's see, a crate dragon pearl.
Found in the belly of a crate dragon, which was kind of seen as a passage trial for a Tusken to achieve.
And yet there was no Tusken Tusken Jedi.
Actually, there was.
Yeah.
He was technically
should have researched that before I opened my mouth, so we're good.
Though technically they were humans that joined the Tusken Raiders. It was Sharid Het and his son Asharid Het, who would later become the Dark Lord of the Sith, Dark Crate.
Okay. So, all right. So, crate dragon pearls were lustrous colored stones found in the last chamber of the gizzard of the crate dragons. The stones were used to help crush food eaten by them, and over time they become rounded because of how much they moved around. Oh my god, that sounds like a clam.
Basically.
Due to the refractive quality peculiar to the pearl, they could be used in a lightsaber if properly cleaned. Ha-ha! And one was actually 1,000 credits. Oh, no. 100,000 credits is what one was worth. Oh my god, no wonder why that was used in a fucking lightsaber. Look at, someone had a lightsaber with that in it, be like, fuck yeah.
Well, there's actually a crystal that was more valuable that was used in a lightsaber.
Oh, really?
Let me see if I can find, because I want to make sure I get this right.
Okay, so before you, as you're doing that, I'm gonna look up. So I've got some insight knowledge of some previous games. We're gonna start with, if you guys remember the old Saga edition of Star Wars by, Wizards of the Coast. I might have got an excerpt that I looked for. Regarding Jedi. They had a whole section for this, and they actually had stuff in there regarding different types of crystals that you could use in lightsaber creation. And I believe crate dragon pearls actually came up in that because they were more widely used later on, or earlier, not later on, early on, and less later on. But that's because of all the wars they had. Wars help. Wars dwindles on things, guys. Like. I could not imagine what Star Wars would have been like if he did episode 1 through 3 first and then 4, 5, and 6. They wouldn't be as they wouldn't be as good as what they are today. So I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. Chris, do you have an opinion regarding that at all?
Sorry, I'm kind of reading. Okay, sorry. Repeat yourself.
I was saying that crate dragon pearls was widely used more or less during the Old Republic because there wasn't much of the universe established before the Old Republic, but that's because he was making 4, 5. George Lucas was making 4, 5, and 6. And we didn't, we got deep we got deep lore with the Jedi, but it was the extended universe that Lucas, and Lucas actually did. George Lucas did actually condone all of that as being legit.
Yeah, he gave nod. Whenever people came up to him, asked him about a variety of things, he would say, "Yeah, that would probably be it. Yeah, that would be it. That would probably." He would give his input. I mean, for the love of God, when what is called the Darth Vader trilogy, which would be Labyrinth of Evil, Revenge of the Sith, and uh, Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader. When those are being written, the authors who worked on those all worked closely with George Lucas to come up with the story behind all those. So I mean, George Lucas may have considered his movies to be their own thing, but he respected and he helped create the expanded universe, and it's the expanded universe, not the extended universe.
Well, like you're saying, extended.
Yes.
Okay.
But anyways, so a lightsaber crystal that was more expensive than the Krayt Dragon Pearl is a rainbow gem from the Hapes Consortium.
Ah.
And it was the lightsaber crystal that was put in the Queen Mother Tenel-Ka Jo's lightsaber. That's in the shape of Rancor tooth, because she used her grandmother's Rancor tooth to help construct her lightsaber.
Ah.
And it's so valuable that one of the crystals because the rainbow gems are partially used to construct the princess's tiara.
Mm-hmm.
One crystal from her tiara could buy an entire star system.
Damn.
Yeah.
And I know in the Knights of the Old Republic games, each time that you switched out a gem, you could attach you had a color crystal, which was your main colors, and then you had boost gems, boost crystals that they didn't actually have a particular color. They ended up just boosting your lightsaber's capabilities in the Knights of the Old Republic game. Oh my god, that is awesome. I don't know if you folks can see that. No? Wait, maybe if I scroll down. Nope, doesn't come up for you guys. Alright, so today we're gonna construct, we're gonna just make, I figure I want a couple of these gems laying around, because I am such a Star Wars fanatic.
I also put a picture in the chat of the Krayt Dragon. They're not the Krayt Dragon, the Rancor tooth that was her lightsaber.
Now give me a second. I'm gonna save these, and then I'm gonna. Oh, for God's sake!
1 second, folks. It's a bit technical difficulties because of OBS.
No, it's just how things are sent over Discord. Real quick before we continue, which size crystal should I use? A 10, a 9, which is skinny, which is smaller but fat, and 11, which is slimmer and definitely smaller, or a 16, which is a big fat fucking shiv.
Well, why don't you do two then? Why don't you make one out of the 11 and one out of the second biggest one? Because I mean, lightsaber crystals weren't that huge.
No. So you're thinking this one, or you're thinking? I think the second biggest one would be, because we have the 11. Oh, we have the 11, and then the other one would be
the one in your in that hand right there. Yes.
All right, number 9 then.
And also, I mean, so we get Kyber Crystal actually from technically the first expanded universe novel, which was the sequel to A New Hope. It was originally going to be the next movie that George Lucas was going to make if Star Wars wasn't successful, and that was Splinter the Mind's Eye.
All right, and then if I have anything additional, we will just put them in there. All right, so what kind of colors should we? What kind of color should we make today? We have green, which we could use this one for. It would be a lot shinier than that. This is called Jadeite. turquoise, which is like a bluish green. I know what I'm using this one for. Ooh, amethyst. We can make kyber crystal that looks like freaking Mace Windu's.
And so the interesting thing is that Mace Windu actually got. He didn't get his isn't a kyber crystal. His was a special gem that he got from this insectoid rock species
Blue,
that
black,
he
and
helped
white.
to.
How many of these do you think I can make?
But yeah, Mace Windu, he received a special crystal from these insect rock species of aliens because he helped to negotiate a peace with them. And that was a reward, that was a gift to him from the aliens.
Hang on one second. Aside from Mrs. Table being completely insane.
Goofy.
Well, she wants me to make like 3 different ones. And I'm like, I can't make them that quickly.
Actually, no, I was thinking about combining them.
No.
Color code.
No. We'll do that later. If we want to make custom made, we'll do that later. Let's see.
Pick one.
That's what I'm leaving them up for. All right. So anyway, yeah, we'll go with that. So his kyber crystal wasn't the normal crystal then.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a kyber crystal. It was something entirely different. I'm trying to remember what it was called. Give me a second because I'm kind of looking through a list of.
But I mean, what kind of color should we do today? Should we do some green, blue, purple?
That's it right there. It was called a hurricane crystal.
Oh, nice.
Hold on, folks.
Red. I got 4 colors there, folks. Pick one.
Pick any of those.
I want my audience to pick it. If we even have an audience, I think you're the only one in the audience. Nobody showed up to my stream. It's all good.
Okay.
We're talking about Star Wars and everyone's missing it. No one heard that.
No, I did.
Nobody on this stream heard that as I was pulling something up. You want me to do orange? I guess I could do orange.
Let's do something else.
I mean, there have been orange lightsaber crystals. But yeah, so Mace Windu's crystal is actually a hurricane crystal. Hurricane? Yeah, whatever. But yeah, he received that while he was a Padawan. And he was...
9 years old.
Yeah.
Sorry, why Chris is also in... Hello? What the fuck?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, that's better. Well, Chris is in shock that I actually was able to spit out that knowledge.
No, I'm kind of
Oh.
I'm kind of focusing on something.
Oh, yeah, me too. Me too. I don't know what. All right, here we go. All right, so let's do this, everybody. We're gonna make a kyber crystal. I guess we're gonna go with the good old fashioned.
He was 14.
Oh Lord. Okay.
You were wrong.
I thought I said 9. Fuck
You did say 9.
Oh well.
You said
fuck
9,
you.
but he was 14.
Well, fuck you and the horse you rode on. We're doing green. Since nobody else wants to pick a goddamn color, I'm picking a color.
Hey, green is always a nice
You know
nice
what?
alternative.
And I think Peridot is going to be the better shade of green. Okay, so this is going to appear, because we're using the liquid, this is going to appear very much clear and see-through. I imagine kyber crystals were a little bit see-through, or at least translucent. Translucent. All right, let me get my gloves.
Yeah, so we get introduced to the Kyber, which was spelled differently than what Kyber is now, in Splinter the Mind's Eye, which is like I said, technically the first sequel to A New Hope, or what was called
nice.
at the time Star Wars. That was originally gonna be George Lucas's first sequel to Star Wars before Empire Strikes Back, but because Star Wars did so great, he decided to go to Empire Strikes Back. The Splinter in the Mind's Eye was just going to be a cheap sequel for him.
So, folks, as he was talking about that, I just want to let you guys know we are using a actual full measuring cup here that actually cups in milliliters. However, we're only trying to fill up to that line there because, as you can see, these things are not that fucking big.
Yeah.
Actually, Mrs. Tabletop thinks I should use these. She's probably got a point.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't have to make a big batch. You could make small batches and then pour them in.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. All right, we're at where the fucking milliliter is. 5 milliliters. And we're done.
But so yeah, I mean, what happened is that Luke and Leia, they ended up going to this world to crash landing on the world, and
Everybody always crash lands on a world in fucking Star Wars. You guys ever notice that? Has anyone just ever landed?
yes, I do.
Has anyone ever just landed?
There would be
on a
no
planet?
adventure then. There would be no adventure then.
That's a good point.
But they meet this
if I was in
woman.
Star Wars universe, I'd be like, why do we have to be crashing? Why can't we just land like normal people? We always crash. Every time that we start an adventure, we're always crashing.
But I'm gonna be giving a rough summary of Splinter the Mind's Eye because it's been a while since I've done anything with it.
Well, why don't you give a rough summary right now?
Oh, I was going to. Jeez.
All right, go ahead, get it going. Look what I'm doing.
But so in it, basically, Luke and Leia, they end up on this planet, and which is being occupied by the Empire at the time. But they've run into this old woman who says that she is strong, that she is a Jedi, or she's strong in the Force, or whatever.
I knew
And in a sense, yeah. And so she then tells Luke and Leia about the Kyber crystal and everything. And so they go on this adventure looking for the Kyber crystal, and they eventually do find it. And then Vader shows up, and Luke is incapacitated
Jesus Christ,
somehow.
Dad, do you always got to keep doing this shit? Why can't you just be a real father and be in our lives?
Yeah. But it's found out that the old woman is actually not. She's actually not a Jedi. She actually just gets all of her powers from the Kyber crystal. But
I think I've heard this story before. Hey,
Leia,
what big eyes you have.
Yeah, but I don't remember how it happened. But Leia ends up dueling Darth Vader with lightsabers. She gets a hold of Luke's lightsaber and duels him, and she's severely injured. And then Luke comes around and duels Vader, and he knocks him down a pit or something like that.
And then this we find out that that the girl has a bigger cock than he does. Wait, wrong
sure,
story.
That would be a little awkward, but okay.
They already kissed in a movie. What's more than that? Hey, you know that kiss? You know that kiss where you tongued my throat tonsil there, Leia? Yeah, I want to let you know I'm your brother.
But so Luke uses the powers of the Kyber crystal to save Leia's life, and they fly off the world and everything. But they find out that the Kyber crystal loses its powers for the furthest they get away from the planet.
Oh my god! I actually played a game like that.
Mimban, that's the name of the planet. That's the name of the planet they were on.
Keep going.
Sorry, I'm kind of skimming through something right now.
From my hand, do a nice motion.
Yeah. But yeah. But there's besides rainbow gems, crate dragon pearls, kyber crystals. There's all kinds of crystal that can be used. There's even one called the Black Wings crystal. And then you also have synthetic crystals, which are used by Sith. Because though Luke also has a synthetic crystal in his lightsaber. He learned how to make one by coming across books by that Obi-Wan had in his house when Luke um went back to Tatooine to go save Han. But primarily synthetic crystals. Normally, they fall underneath the realm of being used by the Sith.
Nice. So, to let everyone know, you can't see the name real well because my camera will not focus. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the lighting. But I'm using the peridot color, which is green. Hopefully I mixed this right. I think I was a little off on the mixture. I think I got a little bit more hardener in here than I do anything else. But hopefully it'll be... it does say self-leveling. Like, meaning if you are off by like a couple, like milliliters or whatever the hell is smaller than a millimeter, that it will self-level itself off in the mixture or something like that. It's actually kind of nice. So whatever... So we're going to add this and mix the colors. We are going to do peridot today. We're going to make a green lightsaber. Chris, would you like to talk about the green lightsaber, the color green, for a little bit, or continue with what you're doing and then talk about the green lightsaber? Talk about whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, I mean, what is there to talk about? Is green lightsaber is a green lightsaber. I mean, like I said, is Luke's green lightsaber crystal was synthetic. He artificially made his in Obi-Wan's hovel before he went to go save Obi-Wan or Han.
Hey, can you put the hole in that, please? So, why was his synthetic versus everybody else who
probably it has to do with the fact that like lightsaber crystals are hard to come by, especially during the reign of the Empire.
Yeah, because didn't they destroy them to make sure that nobody else could?
Well, let's do a little bit of reading, shall we? No, the example is Luke Skywalker, who used a synthetic crystal for his first lightsaber because he had no knowledge of the natural crystals of that point. So he used so he didn't know that the properties of natural crystals versus synthetic crystals, though technically. It's supposedly synthetic crystals are supposed to be stronger than natural crystals because of like the crystalline structure and everything.
Okay. That's a nice shade of green. I wasn't so sure at first until I mixed it.
Not too bad.
We'll be moving this into a pot. We actually have a curing pot that actually will cause it to break down the curing process just a little bit further.
Get rid of the bubbles.
Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of the bubbles. I don't know. Sometimes for dice, the bubbles are kind of a nuisance. For stuff like this, it actually kind of gives it kind of characters.
I mean, crystals, natural...
The curing pot doesn't have the ability to do that. I need a pressure pot for that, but I have not been able to procure one at this time. Of course, probably I spent all my money on books, so you can kind of see where we're going at with this.
Yeah.
Tabletop Junkie is bad with money? No, I'm the junkie. This is I got a channel to run here, plus a day job. I gotta have some release from the day job.
Yeah, we all do. You have a shitty job, I have a shitty job, we all have shitty jobs.
We don't talk about the shitty jobs. This is the fun job. Who doesn't want to become a YouTube star? Actually,
Then
let me
there's also
hold that up.
then
Let
there's
me
also the
rephrase
dirty
that.
jobs.
I do. Ugh, I'd rather call through shit. Anyway. All right. Well, it looks like you were gonna say something about air bubbles and crystals.
All I was gonna say is that heck, I mean, what natural grown crystals aren't perfect, so
Absolutely. So these are supposed to resemble natural grown crystals. So we'll see how well we do. We're first going to pour this little amount inside the small one just to see how close I got it. Didn't really think this part through.
what exactly?
I didn't think the pouring process through all the way. For that? You sure? I thought we agreed that did not work. Can you hang on to that for me?
I mean, I think it would probably be a good idea if you pour it in there to use the stick to help.
Oh yeah,
kind of.
Right. You're right. Never mind. All right, here we go, everybody.
To kind of to like maybe avoid too many bubbles or something like that. I've seen, some methods. So it just doesn't go all gloop into there. Don't spill. Don't spill. Don't spill.
Fuck you, Chris.
You wish.
I got Mrs. Table for that. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Perfect. Just perfect. And I have quite a bit left, actually. So let's see here.
But the interesting thing with the rainbow gems that Tenel Ka had on hers is that it kind of created an interesting effect with her lightsaber. Kind of like a shimmering, kind of like an interesting shimmery effect.
Or do you think I need some more? Huh, not sure. That's a good question. I still got plenty left. Guess we'll just see where it goes. Maybe I could just put in a little bit additional. 5 milliliters. All right. Any other Star Wars stories that you like to talk about, Chris? The EU is chock full of them. I guess our good question is, what is your favorite era? Aside from the Imperial or the Rebellion era, because the movies do take place in those times. So I want to know, what is your favorite era? There is plenty of eras. There's the New Republic, the New Jedi Order, and then there is the Legacy era. I mean, did you like any of those?
Well, I don't know exactly off the top of my head. I would have to say maybe something along the lines of I do kind of really enjoy the Legacy era, just like how everything is being established. The New Jedi Order is on the upswing and growing and everything, and also along with that is after removing Natasi Dala as chief of state of the Galactic Alliance, which I mean the long term is the Galactic Federation Free Alliance, which took over after the fall of the New Republic. The Jedi Order disassociated itself from the Galactic Alliance so that the Jedi could freely move about the galaxy and perform the will of the Force instead of having to listen to politicians, which was kind of the flaw of the old Jedi Order after the Ruzan Reformation.
Right.
So, I mean, for those of you that don't know, the Ruzan Reformation was basically kind of a reset button for the Old Republic, because for 1,000 years, the galaxy was in a constant state of war between the Republic, Jedi, and the Sith. And after the last of the Sith were killed, minus Darth Bane and his apprentice, who went into hiding to create the Sith Order that would eventually Sidious would be a part of. Darth Sidious, aka Palpatine, would be a part of. the galaxy was in, the Republic was in just like so much shambles. The Jedi have been controlling the Republic for 200, 300 years. They've been, the Senate would be electing a Jedi to control the Republic as chancellor for that long of a period. The Republic was basically kicked out of most of the Rim. Basically, they were limited to the colonies and the core worlds for hundreds of years. The HoloNet, the HoloNet and trade has been completely decimated, and so the Republic decided, hey, we need to have a reset, and so they underneath Tarsus Valorum, the ancestor to Phineas Valorum, who we see in Episode 1, before he was kicked out of office and replaced by Palpatine. Tarsus Valorum oversaw the Ruzon Reformation, which was named after the last battle of the Sith Wars. And so basically what the Ruzon Reformation did was it, like I said, it resetted the Republic. It restructured the Republic's political structure. It demilitarized the Republic. It basically all of the military equipment and ships and everything was given given so that planetary governments could control their own security. And the Republic military was replaced by the Judiciary Force, which is going to be basically serving as kind of a peacekeeping force, kind of like the UN peacekeeping force.
All right.
And the Jedi willingly submitted themselves to the authority of the Senate, which was something that they didn't do before. They kind of advised and worked with the Senate, but they were their own entity before the Ruzon Reformation. Now they are built into the Republic's structure.
I have the big ones.
And as we
keep going, Chris, Mrs. Table and I are trying to figure out what we can use the remaining of this stuff for, so it doesn't go to waste.
Yeah, and so I mean, you could always make another crystal.
Could, or I can make these nice rings.
You could do that too. But yeah, I mean that kind of, to me, that kind of hurt the Jedi Order a little bit, making them abide to the will of politicians instead of the will of the Force, which, well, we kind of saw them fall into the Sith's trap later on in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, that was horrible. Hey, 2 new gloves, honey. I can get this back on.
So I mean, that's something that Luke saw was better to do, which was to disassociate the Republic or his Jedi Order from the Galactic Alliance, basically kind of returning the Jedi to what they should be, which was guardians to all and not just guardians to whatever is the dominant galactic power is, which was at the time the Galactic Alliance.
Wow, that was a great story.
Long-winded.
We're gonna well, I needed that time because I actually managed to finish some of this. We're gonna get ready to move this into our pressure hold. Just real quick, we're just gonna. All right, I'm just gonna make a couple. Okay, if you want to do that.
And the interesting thing also with Tenel Ka is, besides being the Queen Mother of the Hapes Consortium, as well as being trained by Luke to be a Jedi, he also was Han and Leia's son, Jason Solo. She was she was his lover and the mother of Jason's daughter.
That's interesting.
Yes. So so Han and Leia's granddaughter is the what is referred to as the Chumda, which is basically Hapes for Crown Princess.
I think we should just pour it on there, but have you done this
Which
before?
Which is kind of funny because originally originally Leia was gonna marry the prince of the Hapes Consortium, and she would have became the Queen Mother instead. Because the Hapes Consortium is a matriarchal society. Women are in control, and the women of the Hapes Consortium believe that men are too weak and stupid to rule.
Stupid, maybe. Weak, probably. Weak-willed, yeah.
So women run Hapes society, and so the prince of the Hapes Consortium wanted to marry Leia, and this is all documented. This is all in the story, the courtship of Princess Leia.
Okay.
Which is an interesting novel. It's basically it's a couple of years after the events of it's like 4 years after the events of the Battle of Endor after
Okay.
episode 6.
Nice.
And basically the Hades Consortium, which has been an isolationist power for hundreds of years, opens up because the Prince Isildur of the Hades Consortium wanted to marry Leia because he fell in love with her beauty and everything.
Ah.
And Han gets a little jealous and kidnaps Princess Leia.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Okay.
He gets jealous because Leia begins to reciprocate Princess Isildur's affection. And he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna kidnap you, and I'm gonna take you to this planet that I won in a card game, because at this time Leia's trying to look for a safe planet for the Alderaanian refugees, the people left over from the destruction of Alderaan. And so she's trying to find a safe world for that, and Han wins this planet in a card game, in a Sabacc card game. And they go. So Han kidnaps Leia and takes her to this planet, which ends up being the headquarters to a Imperial warlord who was Han's rival during the Galactic Civil War. Yeah.
Oh boy.
It didn't end well. So Han and Leia ends up crash landing on the planet with Chewie and C-3PO, and they meet these Force-sensitive women who were called the Dathomir Witches. So the Night Sisters that you see in Clone Wars have their origin in this novel called The Courtship of Princess Leia.
Okay.
Yes.
Keep going.
But in the original EU canon, it wasn't just the Night Sisters. The Night Sisters was just a sect of the wider coven of witches of Dathomir. There was several different tribes, and the Night Sisters brand of Dathomir witches were the dark side of this group. The Dathomir witches are all the descendants of a Jedi who was exiled to Dathomir because she had kind of dipped her hands in the dark side a little bit. Several hundred years before. And so anyways, through all these events, Leia and Han, they decide to get married. Prince Isildur, who with Luke goes after them, and that is when Princess Isildur runs into this Dathomir witch and falls in love with her instead, and she becomes the new Queen Mother. And they have a daughter together, and that is Ten-El-Ka.
Very interesting.
It's an interesting story they weave.
Yes, it was. Give me 1 second.
And that is why Ten-El-Ka's lightsaber is a Rancor tooth, because one of the native species that the Dathomir witches domesticated on Dathomir were Rancors.
All right.
And the Rancor tooth that Tennoka uses was a tooth from her grandmother's Rancor.
All right. That is some interesting stories. Very interesting. Very interesting. I actually liked it. Bit long-winded though, but I did want to share this, a little bit. Chris pretty much hit the nail on the head, folks. So we're gonna hit it one more time.
Yes, we are nerds.
Well, besides that,
Witch King.
Oh.
We are nerds, Witch King.
Oh, there he is. Yes, we are. I'm the king of nerds, bitch. Bow before Zod. Anyway. So Jedi. So the Jedi counselors were generally the ones that wielded the green lightsabers, which I do like on how Legends basically said at 19 BBY that term the terms of the Jedi's class and path was actually suspended because they were, basically 19 BBY. I think that's when the Clone Wars happened, right? Or close to?
The end of the Clone Wars. The end of the Clone Wars.
Was it the end or the beginning?
No, it was the end. 22 was when they began.
Okay, yeah. But that's interesting. So anyway, Jedi counselors achieved with words or non-violent use of the Force, concentrating on mental refinement through the study and meditation. I don't know. I always like green lightsabers, but green is my favorite color.
I mean, by all means, is that the color of a lightsaber blade really doesn't matter. Besides red being a Sith blade. What the color of a lightsaber blade basically reflects is what is the crystal that you used in your lightsaber.
Right.
So I mean,
actually, if you really want to be honest, all kyber crystals are technically white.
Well, like I said, this is before Disney Star Wars. Disney Star Wars made kyber crystals the only crystals to be used in lightsaber crystals, or used in lightsabers. In the EU, if you could find a good enough crystal, any crystal could be used as a lightsaber crystal. Like I said,
if it could support the structure of you pouring the Force abilities into it, because I've heard, if I'm not mistaken, the energy from the Force destroyed a few of them.
Well, that's an aspect of the EU, or not the EU, of Diz canon.
Is that actually Disney?
Yes,
I thought that was before Disney owned it.
No, that was Disney.
Lame.
The expanding universe, it was like the something to deal with like the power of the energy cell or whatever going through it. But I mean, yes, there is also a little bit of earlier lightsabers called Force sabers, which were inventions of the Rakatan. Did require you to have the Force in order to turn them on. They required you to channel the power of the dark side through the Force saber to activate the saber.
Okay.
But basically, any crystal that could be used that had a good enough structure to be used as a lightsaber crystal could be a lightsaber crystal. Like for example, Tennoka's rainbow gems, the Rancor pearl, the hurricane crystal that Mace Windu had, so on and so forth. It didn't matter. Any gem could be used as long as it was something that could was strong enough to sustain the power of the lightsaber beam. So I mean,
not trying to send you on another long-winded speech here, but
I mean, I'm just saying
is that like we want to get to here.
Yeah, I was just going to say is that, so I mean, if counselors primarily used green crystals, they would understand. They had green blades. Same thing with guardians who would grab lightsaber crystals that were blue. That would be, it's whatever crystal that you got is used, is basically what I'm just saying.
Fair enough. Whatever. All right. Anyway, I want to talk about Plo Koon.
Plo Koon's a cool character. Do
you know why I want to talk about Plo Koon? I will tell you why. Plo Koon is said to be the only Jedi that had more lightsaber blade colors than any other Jedi around.
Could be true, yeah.
Because at one point he used blue, green. At one point he was seen wielding a yellow, and then I think an orange. I thought that was kind of, Plo Koon, I think was underrated, definitely. I think I'm glad we got to see him in the Clone Wars versus in the movies where we didn't get a lot of scenes with him. But I mean, given that the movies, I'm pretty sure that's probably understandable.
And I mean, personally, I think that Plo Koon should have been Ahsoka's master, not Anakin. I think that would have been a better choice, especially because Plo Koon, in original concept, Plo Koon was seen in an original animation to be the one who found Ahsoka.
According to the backstory, I thought Plo Koon was. That's why she had a special connection with him.
Well, apparently in some kind of new Disney story, he wasn't. It was some other character.
But we already established this in the Clone Wars. It's in the first episode or the movie.
Let me see if I can find out. Let me see here if I can find it.
And I know what it was because I just watched those over again. I don't want to talk about that. Might have been moonlighting on Chris over here. All right, so we're going to begin cleaning up here, and then we are going to talk about we're going to get into talking about RPGs. I thought that Ahsoka's first master was Plo Koon, and then she got handed over to Anakin. That's not true. Plo Koon found her, turned her into the Jedi Council for training, and then, if I'm not mistaken, she was then handed over to Anakin on a field commission because they needed more Jedi in the field.
Something of that nature. Plo Koon did find her. He then gave her over to the temple to be trained. So, I mean, normally, almost all younglings are trained by Yoda and other masters before they are normally they're selected by a Jedi Knight or a master to be trained. But Clone Wars being an unusual time and low numbers of Jedi, they kind of just the Jedi Council thought it would be kind of nice to put Anakin into a sticky situation.
Yeah, I don't think that was the best idea. But then again, we did get the best Jedi out. I think we got one of the best Jedi out of it, which she's like no Jedi supposedly, and she ain't no gray Jedi. The gray Jedi don't exist. They are a lie.
Oh, that's one of the flip-floppy things about Disney Star Wars is you have in Rebels her saying, "I'm no Jedi," but then she trains Sabine, who is a Mandalorian and doesn't have the Force to be a Jedi, and somehow Sabine gets the Force in the Ahsoka TV show. And Ahsoka kind of starting in Code Jedi Order in another galaxy. I have no clue. It's still freaking left and right and upside down. It makes no sense.
I hate everything. All right, we're gonna take.
It's not the savior of Star Wars.
All right, we're gonna stop this right here. Well, we're not gonna stop. We're gonna take a small break and we're gonna come back and then we're gonna bring to you folks some more Star Wars talk. We're gonna get some topics together, and then you're gonna see Tabletop Junkie do something insane. No, you're not. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to do anything that insane. I'm just going to do something for tabletop gaming, and that's what we came here for. Originally, this was supposed to be a workshop, but I should have named this the Anything Goes, Star Wars talk stream. But it's always good to get some background information before we go into major talks. So before we do that, and we get into the workshop, we're going to take a small break here. I'm going to clean up. Get my area clean because I'm probably going to use more of my camera. You guys get to see my hands today, so enjoy that. And then we'll go from there. So about a 10-minute break. All right, and we are back, and we are going to bring you guys some tabletop fun. You know, I was talking for a little bit before I realized nobody could hear me. I'm muted. All right, so going to bring you guys some Star Wars tabletop fun. I think it's time that we do that. So give me 1 second. Let me get some things ready for you. All right. Oh boy. You know what? We didn't cover anything that I liked. Okay, so my favorite era besides the original is always going to be the Old Republic. I love the stories of the Old Republic. I love the expansion of the Old Republic, and I love what the Old Republic can actually, the Old Republic can be so much more of a story, and there's a lot of years in there that you can make out of the Old Republic. Basically, you can use almost any years. There's basically some history on the Old Republic. All you got to do is look it up, and there we go. So we are going to open up. I'm going to do some character creation today. So hopefully you guys can. I'm going to be using a custom sheet that I made. Yes, Tabletop Junkie made a custom sheet. Who cares? Right? Maybe you care. I don't know. People are weird like that. Alright, so I need to figure out what I'm going to name these custom sheets. Well, first off, we got to figure out what, if there's anyone in chat, 25,000 years worth of, years of the Old Republic. Yes, from it's actually roughly around the year 25,000 BBY and goes up to at least 1,000 BBY. So you got 24, 25, maybe even more years to actually play with in there. So, all right, I'm going to make a character for you guys. I'm going to show you guys I'm going to show everyone how it's done. And we're going to set the bar low. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. No, we are actually going to set the bar low, though. There's inside the universe of Star Wars D6, there is 5 settings that you could place a character at. There is average, which is basically character just starting out an adventure, maybe, or being on up to at least 1 or 2 adventures before going forward. Then you have average, then you have novice, and that person's been on a couple adventures at the very least, has already had a history full of things that pissed off people, if not the Imperial Army themselves, or depending on what area you play in, pissed off one of the common powers of that time. You also have a veteran.
I'm back.
Someone who's oh, hello, Chris. I was just explaining Star Wars D6, and I was just stating that the Old Republic was my favorite era, which we did not cover. Anyway, let me continue with this. Veteran, which has pissed off more than enough people, probably superior officers, and 1 superpower. And it's not at least 1 superpower. It's you pissed off 1 superpower. You might have at least pissed off 2. So you probably pissed off both the Republic and the Sith. Depending on what area you're in, you probably pissed off the Rebel Alliance and the freaking Empire. You at least pissed off 1. You have to pick up 1. That's what it is. And then you have superior, which, between superior and master, yeah, you're the superpower. Everyone's trying to wipe you out. There we go. Shit happens. So, what level am I going to make my character at? Well, I'm going to make my character with the average level, because I'm epic like that. People bitch saying, average is too weak. Well, let me pull it up to you. Average might be weak, but it is what it is, brothers. You gotta start somewhere. You don't just get to start out awesome and shit. Luke Skywalker didn't start off awesome. He had to work his way through shit.
Yeah. He started out as a farm boy.
Farm boy with a kick-ass piloting skill. Who saw that coming?
Well, I mean, to be fair, if anyone knows about any lore with Luke Skywalker and everything, the Skyhopper, I think it's called the Skyhopper.
All right.
Yes, the Skyhopper. The T-16 Skyhopper that he flies is made by the same company that makes the X-Wings.
Line?
Oh, fair. Yes.
And if you knew anything about Incom the Incom Corporation, basically all of their cockpits are all basically the same. So if you fly one variation of their starships, you fly them all.
Oh, nice. So that's why
So
it's so
that-
big ass.
So that's why he was able to fly the X-Wing
Where's my pencil box?
days after leaving Tatooine, because he's grew up flying a T-16 Skyhopper his entire life.
Should be right on there.
Oh,
And that's why he didn't have any issue with shooting or firing proton torpedoes at the Death Star, because, like he said, I used to shoot womp rats no different size no
bigger
different
than
of a size.
no different in size. Luke started was an excellent pilot, hence why he wasn't average. He must have had at least 6D plus 2 in piloting starships. Probably. Or at least starfighters. At least starfighters. Alright. What kind of character should I make, Chris? What kind of character do you want to see? What kind of archetype do you want to see?
You know what? This is Star Wars. Go with a Jedi.
Awesome. Alright.
This is Star Wars. So, I mean, what's Star Wars?
Without
but
Jedi.
Yeah.
Firefly.
Yes, actually. That's true.
Actually,
Firefly.
but let's face it, Firefly still had Jedi in there because his sister was psionic.
Yeah, that's true.
I point that out, and everyone looks at me and goes, "I hate you." What the fuck?
You also have Star Trek, Stargate. What else?
Yeah, but I've never met anyone with telekinesis in Star Trek. At least not as active as that. So yeah,
Q.
Q doesn't count. That was some bullshit.
He was still a
bullshit.
very powerful being that could use.
He was
his
from
mind.
the Q continuum. He existed outside of a realm of space time, and he technically he didn't exist anyway. He was considered a god.
Okay.
Hear that, John Delancey? Although I gotta say this, John Delancey, I love you.
In fact, actually, you also in the first Star Wars movie, A New Hope and everything, you actually do see the T-16 Skyhopper in the garage. It's in the background.
Oh, nice. Well, Witch King says smuggler. There was a super psychic in one of the first seasons of TOS. Oh boy. Yes, that all of which is true, and all of which I have no qualms with for some strange fucking reason. Oh, that's right, because I'm a Star Trek geek. All right, so we're gonna. All right, so what type of character? Let's see. I'm gonna.
you were talking about.
Though none of them used a mystical energy that is generated by living beings. Right.
Yeah, we'll go with that. All right. Padawan learner. This one's gonna be a Padawan. Booyah, bitches. Species. You know what? Because we only have 20 dice to play around with. I need to give me my dice. Since we only have 20 dice to play around with. We're gonna do male. Maybe human. Alright, so with the average level grants you 20 dice. That one. No, wrong one. The other one. Sorry. Only grants you 20 dice to play around with. That's 20 dice that goes into attributes, skills, very, very restrictive. If we went to novice level, you'd have 18 attribute dice, which will allow you to buy your species. And because you got to buy all species, nothing comes for free, including humans. Buy your species and buy your skills. You got 7 skill dice to go for skills, and you get 1 skill dice that can go up into 3 different specializations. 1 die in specializations is 3 specializations, basically, or because all a specialization is you specialize in something oh, look at this, you know, and it makes things easier. So we're gonna go with male human. Okay. Now the question is, what do we name him?
I'm gonna use a name generator.
You do that. All right. While you're doing that, I'm gonna come up with. Let me go down to the next one. We're gonna go here. I actually spelled that right. Oh my god.
Hey.
Oh, you already named him?
No.
Oh. Should he be from?
I was talking about something else.
Oh. Should he be from Alderaan, Pendrilla, Corellia, Coruscant, Karunai, Naboo, or some other planet?
Tatooine.
Onderon, Serena,
Tatooine.
Tatooine. Oh, unfortunately, there's no Tatooine one here.
No, because they use normal names like Ben Kenobi.
Oh, you know what? Let's do Corellian. Well, he'll be a Corellian.
Oh God, Corellians.
Hey, the Corellians are cool, minus that they're constantly trying to cause problems for the Republic by constantly trying to declare independence.
And then the Empire takes over. Joke's on them. Oh, man, Mrs. Tabletop says Bobby. You should just name your character Bobby. Why would I name my character Bobby? All right, humans don't get any special abilities, and they automatically start. You got to spend 12 of your dice to have this template. Oh, look at that, 12 dice. So that means I got 8 left to pour into anything else I want. That's because they take a minimum of 2d each, so amen to that. All right, let's see. Hang on, before we do anything else, let's see here. All right, so how old should he be?
Jet Telon.
Telon, that's his name?
Yeah. Telon.
Talon? Oh.
His first name will be Jet.
Jet, okay. All right. There we go. All right, how old should he be? Don't give me an age. Don't spit out something too old.
What time do you want to put it in?
Oh, God, that's actually a hard one. Well, let's do... You have
Old
to
Republic?
say that in Hank Hill's voice. Jet Thoris. Why don't we do Empire? Just do
Imperial
the
era?
Yeah, the Imperial era. Just do the... Oh my God, I just got it. Oh wait, no, I did not.
You said the same number I did.
All right, anyway, continue. 25. Oh boy.
That's what I said.
Yeah, we'll do 25.
All right. All right, we're gonna say he's like 5'6". There we go.
He's short.
And he's only like 140 pounds. There you go. He needs to be fed.
He's skinny.
Mm-hmm.
Short and skinny. Normally it's the other way around.
I was thinking of going with a short, skinny, blonde kid.
Experience.
No. Fuck no. I'm taller than that. Let's see. Physical description. Sums it up. Slender, blonde, and brown-eyed human. Probably poor. We'll see about that later. Okay, so.
Well, I mean, he would be probably partially poor, or at least constantly traveling to be on the run from the Empire.
Depends on... Star Wars needs a good redhead representation. We don't get those. Well, no. That's actually
Cal-
misrepresentation. We did have that one guy in Disney Star Wars where they picked on that one redhead, and I kind of hated that one.
There's also Cal Kestis. He's redhead.
Oh yeah, I love Cal. I was thinking
He's
about the
probably
general. I was thinking about
he's
the general.
he's probably the only He's probably the only Disney Star Wars character and the story around him is probably the only thing I like from Disney Star Wars. Oh, and also Palpatine's a redhead too.
Oh yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Totally forgot about that. Totally forgot about that. My base move, I think, is 10 meters. It is. If I want to up that,
Which
I can
shows
up
further
that
proof
by
that
spinning a
which
dice.
shows further proof that redheads have no soul.
Oh, evil. Evil, evil, evil. Okay, so with that being said, let me check here. Checking out a few of my sources here real quick. Okay, that is right. Okay, now we're going into...
Witch King, what's the difference?
Palpatine is an evil genocidal man, though. What
Maniac.
the fuck? You guys can all suck it. That's how I feel about that. Y'all can suck it for that comment. All right. Force sensitive? Yes. And force points. Well, he gets to start off with 2. And then dark side points.
0. Because in order to get dark side points, you must have intent.
Mm-hmm. Character points. So far 0 for that until we can figure out how we're gonna figure out if we have anything left. Right now we do have. So once you guys are done with character creation, if any dice that you actually have left over, actually can go into into your save. You can save it for character points because character points is what's used to. You can use character points to spend throughout the game for various bonuses and stuff like that, or you can save them up and use them to increase your skills, but you can only do one or the other during certain times of gameplay. Alright, so...
Witch King, it would be no point in making him a Jedi Padawan than if we let the dice decide.
A 1 on a d6 means the human is force sensitive. Well, yeah, but we're making him a Padawan learner, so... Alright, so, Jet Talon, which means I probably might use this character in a game somewhere. Not sure where. Alright, so far, his base everything for his template is 2D. So each of these skills is set to 2D, and that is set to 10. I can increase that by spending an attribute die. Now, in order for me to buy this template right here, because these are 2, and that's 10, I have to actually subtract 12 of my dice from my dice pool of 20. So which means all these are set to 2. All these things are set to 2D. I don't have any skills yet. I haven't made it that far yet. We're just getting into setting up the template. With him being force sensitive, that does not matter. So I only have 8 dice to increase everything by. Which this is gonna make it hard because I'm not sure what to increase anything by with him, other than maybe some lightsaber play and whatnot, stuff like that. However, there are 2 things I can do there's one thing I can do to increase my lightsaber die, or my not my lightsaber die, my dice pool, and get more dice to spend on skills and whatnot and specializations, and that is take a disadvantage. Now, the way that normally D6 plays this is there is a list of disadvantages you can take. There is a list between advantages and disadvantages. There's 26 things you can choose from. However, 6 are advantages and the other 20 are disadvantages. I didn't really care for that. So, I'm going to take a disadvantage. We're actually going to write them down here. So I actually so this way you play the game, I actually made the disadvantages and the advantages a little bit different. And I'm going to show you. For those who are... One of the things I did like... Let me sharpen my pencil here. One of the things I did like how some game systems did it. If you guys remember Fate Core by Evil Hat Productions, which I hear is not a very good company anymore, but I don't know anything about that. I just hear some bad talk, you know, so we're just going to leave it at that. They made a pretty good system, though. Like, if you're on the go and you don't have time to set up a full game, you can always... you do Fate Core. So, alright. I do recommend only having 2 spots for this. Do not think that you're going to take a bunch of advantages and disadvantages. So, you can place a disadvantage on your character that range from... It has to range in whole dice. It can be a minimum of 1d, but a maximum of 5d, and that's it. Anything over 5d, I'm afraid you're asking for too much debilitating effects, so you do have to put a cap on it. One disadvantage I could get is... What was Obi-Wan Kenobi's problem originally? He was force sensitive, but what was his main issue? He couldn't learn like the other kids did.
When he was a Padawan?
Yes.
Well, before he was a Padawan. He had anger management issues.
Okay.
He got easily ticked off.
Okay. But wasn't it like he wasn't showing any promise on using the Force or something like that?
That would be... well, it's something that I kind of read someplace, but I can't remember exactly where. But in his early years, when he was a initiate, which is basically the children, younglings, before they become Padawans, he did struggle a little bit with learning the Force because he had a low midichlorian count. Which, I mean, so for people that get this misconstrued with the whole concept of midichlorians is, it doesn't matter what your midichlorian count is, as long as you have a strong enough or a large enough number in your cells to where you can make a connection to the Force. Midichlorian count just indicates how easy it is for you to connect to the Force. It doesn't indicate your strength in the Force. So, I mean, for example, Anakin, he has one of the highest midichlorian counts out there. It just means that he's able to connect to the Force a heck of a lot easier than others. Doesn't mean that he's exactly the strongest ever. That requires talent, that requires training and stuff like that. So, but yeah, Obi-Wan... Before, in fact, I'm reading the YA novels that surrounds Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon's early adventures that are set in the EU.
And let me squash this right now for any of you guys to say, well, that can't be right, because wouldn't that make him the weakest Jedi? Midichlorian count is not power levels.
No, it's not.
Like he said, he had a hard time controlling and using the Force and connecting with it. He had to work harder than anybody else. That's all the low midichlorian count in his bloodstream accounted for, is he had a small connection, but he was able to use that and channel that into fascinating lightsaber play and do things that other people couldn't, like take out General Grievous.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you go back and you read the Revenge of the Sith novelization, which it is a great novel. I strongly recommend people read that. It talks about, in both his duel with Grievous and his duel with Anakin, as well as his escape from being captured by Grievous on the Invincible Hand, Grievous's flagship, how Obi-Wan basically becomes one with the Force in those moments and times. Like, it talks about how, like, he was Grievous, but he was also Obi-Wan, how he was the lightsabers that Grievous and him are holding at the same time. He was everything. Basically, he became one with the Force, and
being a Jedi, that's like a great honor and everything, and it's basically the ultimate move for a Jedi, because that means you basically can do almost anything in a sense. And it gave him the upper hand to compete with Grievous, as well as to compete with Anakin, because Anakin is such a powerful lightsaber duelist. I mean, you have basically between Obi-Wan and Anakin, because Obi-Wan is a master at the defensive lightsaber combat. You have an immovable rock versus an unstoppable force. So I mean, all it kind of, Anakin and Obi-Wan were basically just kind of like that allegory. Obi-Wan being the immovable rock, and Anakin being the unstoppable force, because they're different power levels and they're different techniques and everything. And all those people that says, "Oh, the lightsaber combat in Revenge of the Sith was so silly because they're swinging their lightsabers around," that is years and years and years of those two being master and apprentice brothers, knowing each other's moves, knowing each other's counter moves, and trying to counter the counter moves. So I mean,
also fighting styles, sword styles.
Mhm.
Remember, there are lightsaber forms, which we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yes.
So I think for a disadvantage,
But I mean, like I said, I'm listening to the Jedi Apprentice novels, YA novels, which, like I said, those are talking about the adventures in the EU of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon's early adventures. And in fact, actually, Obi-Wan failed at being a Jedi and was sent to the Jedi Agricultural Corps, which is basically where Jedi who flunked were sent, if they were not chosen as an apprentice by the age of 13. And that's partially because
until the best master of all Star Wars came in, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, well, it's because Qui-Gon Jinn was sent to the same world that Obi-Wan was sent to for the Agricultural Corps, just by pure luck of the Force. And so originally Qui-Gon turned Obi-Wan down because of Obi-Wan's anger, because he got into a fight with another student.
But Qui-Gon doesn't listen to anyone else but the will of the Force, and then the Force came to him and said, "My son, you must turn it back to him and help him become the greatest Jedi of all time."
In a sense, yes.
I don't think it happened exactly like that, but in my mind it did.
in a sense, yes, because when Qui-Gon found out that Obi-Wan was going to the same planet as his, he's like, was this originally planned out by the Jedi Council? And Yoda's like, "No, we didn't know that he was going there until after we got orders to send you there."
And then they sent him there, and they're like, "Oh fuck, we messed up." Okay, so I made so the disadvantage is going to be troubles connecting with the Force. Kind of went with that. Quick question: what D level should I make it? 5 would be completely debilitating, and to the point like he has very limited. Okay, so imagine your failure that you did using the Force in our last Star Wars session, and basically you pepper sprayed using sand.
Hey, it was still effective.
It got in his eyes, and he had to wipe it down for someone to cold-heartedly murder him.
Yep, and
one being too, he has some issues, but he's got to work at it. So what do you think?
Make it a 2.
Make it a 2? 2D sounds
Yeah.
nice. Alright, so that means I get, I want to say plus 2D. That means 2D are going to go back in my pool. So that means I actually have now, because I bought the human template, which is 12 dice out of my dice pool, because all of these get 2, and that gets 10. That moves it down to 8. This backs it up to 10. I'm not going to place an advantage on him. We're just going to see what do we think we should hire up next before we grant him some skills. Since we have, I would say, 3 skills, or move up, use 3 dice on attributes, because if we were at the next level, we would get 7 skill dice to use on skills. So to use up the 3 dice we have, 3 of the dice for attributes, which attributes should I hire up? Like, what should he be good at? I'm letting you guys decide all this. Like, I'm just making it. Because I can make...
Well,
like, I could do this in my sleep.
I will let the chat make a suggestion before I make any suggestions.
All right. Meanwhile, before you make any suggestions, does chat have anything to say while I roll... he doesn't have anything for resources, so he's going to be at the lowest one, so I'm going to roll a 2D for his resources. Chat, what do you have to say in the meantime? I get 2D times 100. Which means I'd have to take a resources advantage or disadvantage. Well, if I took a disadvantage, it'd probably be fucking ridiculously stupid. He's a Jedi, so poor. 700. 700 credits to buy resources and shit with. Haha. Oh. So, all right. Well, I'm going to take this moment of silence as we're going to roll randomly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the random.
Yes, which king you're supposed to decide.
What? Am I supposed to decide? Anyone can decide. Anyone who's in chat. If you're in chat, you can decide. Pick any 3 skills, or pick any, or no, pick any 3 attributes. And if you want, you can pick the same attribute. That just means I'm going to use one of the 3 die from my dice pool. I have 10 dice left in my dice pool to create this character. What skills should I hide, or which attributes? I keep saying skills. God, America, man. And I should have actually lowered this a little bit down. Because I don't have anywhere to put my mechanical skills or my technical if I have any.
Oh, that sounds like a you problem.
Fuck you. Anyway, no. I've missed this table for this. No, I'm asking what I'm supposed to decide on. Alright. So I decided I'm going to put 3D or any number of D in any of these skills. All we're asking is for you to... Or skills. I keep saying skills. Damn it. To hell, America. Any of these attributes. Just name 3 attributes off, and you can pick the same attribute multiple times. This is what we get for letting other people decide.
I know.
we deserve this. Dexterity is good for combat. Okay, dexterity is. Two more choices. Jedi, I don't know. I have no clue what happens in movies or shows. Oh, boy. You're not a nerd. I get that.
You said put me to sleep.
Not
We're having a
geeky
conversation.
enough.
What's up?
Not geeky enough.
No, not quite. Not quite. Well, we're definitely going to do dexterity. I'm going to roll for the other 2.
Maybe throw one in with strength, and I guess the other one into technical.
All right. So we're going to do...
Perception, either mechanical or technical. That's what Witch King says.
There we go. All right. So I used 1 in there, so now we got 7 left. All right. So I got 7 left. Well, I'm definitely going to look at my skill list here. I do have a skill list. And I'm probably going to throw some dice right into lightsaber play. Why? Because I like lightsabers. Who don't like lightsabers?
Good question. I wouldn't know because I don't have one.
Me neither, but we want one, don't we, Chris?
Myself and also the character in my game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that one. I totally forgot about that. All right. I'm going to do lightsaber right here. And then I guess we could do... turnover. I think this will be... All right. How many D in each of these skills? Lightsaber, repair and engineering, and lightsaber. What are you thinking, Chris? I think lightsabers are trite, he says while pushing his glasses up on his face. Yeah. Yeah. Well, lightsaber repair and engineering is basically the technical skill. Lightsaber, this is like your ability with the lightsaber. I'm thinking we've got 7D. I'm going to toss 2D into this one.
Plus, also, what would a Jedi be without a lightsaber?
Exactly. And 1D into this one. I don't know why I did that. Alright, 1D into that one. So that way, in my lightsaber combat, so like anytime that he's using lightsaber, I get to roll 5d6s, baby. So these are 3.
Which
like
King, then you're not a true fan.
All right, gentlemen, behave. The Jedi Council has ruled, or just me.
The Jedi Council is made up of me, myself, and I.
That means I get to roll. No, it's not. That means I get to roll 5 of these bad boys. Woohoo! Oh, so, and then one of these get to be my wild die. I'm going to pick the red one. Let's see. Let's see what I can roll. All right. So lightsaber combat natural would be 11, 15. My wild die is a 2, so 15, 17, and 18. Woohoo! Look at that. He is like, he may be a Padawan learner, but he can do some lightsaber skills. I think his lightsaber might be whatever one focuses on lightsaber skills more often. Since he's no good with the connecting with the Force ability.
Struggling with that.
What's up?
Struggling with his Force connection.
Yes. Speaking of which, we also have to add skill points into that. So I used 2 here, 1 here. That gives me 4 left. So now we actually have 3 other. I forget. With Jedi characters like this, we get 3 additional skills. They're called the 4. Should maybe flip it over.
Force control, alter, and what was it?
It's control, sense, and alter. It's called the Force attributes, which you use your character creation die to put points in them. Well, since we are making a Force sensitive character, and we are putting it in the Empire era, probably at 25. So let's see. If it's in the Empire, that means it could be anywhere from 19 BBY up to 1 BBY, I would say. So he was probably born during the Clone Wars or during 3 years before the Clone Wars even happened. Which means he probably wouldn't have all this advanced training. But, or he could have been born shortly before and was one of the younglings that actually freaking fled the damn freaking temple. But whoever knows.
Oh, I mean,
I never said I was a true fan of Star Wars, to be honest. I'm like, oh boy. Anyway, you were saying, Chris?
Sad individual. I mean, let's make it to where he was. Let's do 10 years after the Clone Wars. So he would have been probably about 15 years old.
Right.
So he actually would have been a Padawan.
Yep, would have been. All right, so I got 4D. You know what? I'm gonna place one in each of these. Leaving one left. So I'm gonna do one additional thing. I got 1D. I am going to take another skill that's not any of these. Let's see here. Thinking, I'm thinking.
Do 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 do.
All right.
Do 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 do.
And Chris sucks. Anyway,
You wish.
no. Oh my God, Chris, you gotta stop with that. Alright, that's capital ship. I don't have starship piloting. I have starfighter piloting. I could pick from which starfighter. If you could pilot a starfighter, you could pilot something that's bigger than like a freaking freighter. X-wing headhunters. Hang on. Was there a starship piloting on my freaking original list? That's a good question. Let me see here.
You're looking at attributes and skills, correct?
Yes, I'm doing skills. And that's under attributes and skills. Yes, sir. Trying to figure out what we're trying to pick here.
I mean, you do in space transport, starship engineering, starfighter piloting.
Yes, I got starfighter piloting. It's space transports that I need. That's the general, like, for freighters and all, I believe.
Space transport specialties, type of or model transport such as White 13 transport, Gallifrey, Union or Corellian Action 6 transport.
Yep. Like, this is like, this is, if we do space transport, it's like, okay, I can fly a freighter. This is like the space freighter. Yeah, this is like Han Solo, which, that's mechanical skill? Oh,
that's what you put it down as.
Yep. Don't tell anyone about that yet. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, okay. So I did. Alright, so I guess we'll just do space transports. Okay.
Does he know how to repair one though? That's a good question.
Probably not. This is where he's gonna have to get some help. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Kooky sidekick.
Yep, he's gonna need a droid. Called let's see,
Would it be an R series droid?
I was thinking S1. Give me a second. No, S1. Hang on.
So there is an S series droid.
S1 P1.
But they're surveying droids.
Oh yeah. I was thinking S1 P1 stands for Sparta.
Thanks.
Number one indicating A, SAPA. How about a sexy Twilight sidekick? You know which game?
You could have the droid and also the co-pilot.
I could have both. All right, and the good news is,
Could be his girlfriend.
One of the good news is, which I can't show you guys today. So for every D that's actually in one of these powers, I get to pick a force power from one of these categories. These are actual categories, and if a force power actually shares two of these categories or more, as long as I have a D in all of them, I can pick from them. So amen to that. Amen to that.
I can see the Twi'lek being the one who knows how to pilot and also is the mechanic of the ship.
Okay. So we gotta have a sexy Twi'lek now. Okay. Any good Twi'lek names?
I will look one up.
All right. While you do that, I'm going to. This sounds familiar. Wasn't there a sexy Twi'lek in a game I played with Star Wars before?
I think we went over this before.
No, I think I played in a game with Witch King, and there was a sexy Twi'lek in there. He was that. So we're gonna play. She's gonna be a. We're gonna say smuggler. Oh no, we're gonna say. Ooh, Mission Veo was a pretty good repairer. Let's see here. Let's do not smuggler. She wants to be a mechanic, so Starship mechanic. Gender / species. Female. Female Twi'lek. Let's see. Age. We're gonna say 20. Five to 10. Weight. 120 pounds.
I put in the
She's a
YouTube chat 5 Twi'lek names. Choose one.
Sexy, blue, skin, Twi'lek. Boy, it's getting hot in here, guys.
What would you say if she was red instead of blue?
We could do that. You want to do red?
Red
Like,
was a rare. Red for a Twi'lek was rare, but it did happen. Like for example,
Yes, it did.
Darth Xena's Twi'lek lover, he was red-skinned.
I'm gonna call her Sura.
That was a mutation apparently in their species.
I was about to say that. I thought that was a mutation, though.
So you're gonna name her Zazura Zyvar, Zimbor.
No, I was just gonna call her Zura.
So she's taller than your Padawan learner.
Heck yeah, she is. All right. Let's see. And red Twi'lek sounds cool, but so does a green Twi'lek. Yeah. Now, do we make this one force sensitive?
Why don't you do a roll for it?
There we go.
I think Witch King mentioned it earlier.
What's the number to see if she's force sensitive? Witch King, give me the number.
Roll a 1 on a 6 on a d6 means human is force sensitive, but what does it mean for a Twi'lek?
I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. Well, I rolled a 5. So we're going to go with no on this one. Oh, and on this one, we finished all the character points off, so they start off with 0. Force points, 1. Yes, even though she's not force sensitive, characters still start off with, she will start off with 1 force point, so that way the force would be kind of like roll a stroke of good luck for her.
I mean, to be honest, everyone in the Star Wars galaxy has midichlorians in them, and they do have some, I want to say, attunement with the Force.
Right.
In a sense. I mean, it doesn't make them Force sensitive to where they can use the Force, but they have some manipulation by the Force.
Fair enough. Alright, let me... Okay, so, Twi'leks. I wonder if I have a Twi'lek. Alright, so, same with her. She's going to be average character. So 20 dice pool. So we're gonna that's gonna be the last one we're gonna do tonight. And let's see here.
She's definitely more technical and knowledgeable and mechanically inclined.
All right, so it's gonna be. All right, so only 7D. It only costs 7 dice for her template. So that means I've got like 13 dice left. So it's going to be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and her perception gets 2. So, and she does have a special ability, which we do need to write that down. Her head
Leku?
tickles. Yeah, but they're called Lekus.
Trying to think if like some kind of drawback that she could possibly have. Maybe PTSD from being a slave. Maybe she was a slave before Jet freed her. A rare red skinned Twi'lek. I mean, that would be something that the slavers would love.
Unfortunately, I have to go with you on that one, yes. All right. So, let's see. We're going to do...
Probably would also mean that she would have a great anger towards slavers.
We're going to give her Desired by All, which is a disadvantage because anywhere she goes, they're going to look at her skin. That's why the characters in Star Wars often had bad feelings that turned out to be true. So
Could be an explanation.
Desired by All. We're going to create that at a 3D. And we're going to say a traumatic past. Which we're going to do that at 2D. Which isn't the worst, but 2D is still kind of debilitating. Because between the Desired by All, we could also play this all together. She's Desired by All because of her skin color. Being red, and she has traumatic past, which we could explain that in her backstory. So all that together, anytime that this means I could probably use both of these disadvantages together.
Wouldn't just to throw this out there, but wouldn't Jet also have traumatic past because he witnessed and survived Order 66?
He could, unless he was also an emotionless bastard. Which is probably not a good thing.
I mean, that would fit Kiad Mundi. Kiad Mundi was an emotionless bastard when his family was massacred, because that's the interesting thing about Syrians is that they are, because of how they reproduce and everything, it's like one man to every 20 women, or one male to every 20 female in their society. Kiad was allowed to marry and have children.
Oh, nice.
To help keep his species going. But when his entire family was massacred by the separatists, he was like, okay, they're part of the force now.
I'm going to give her a 3D advantage called Mechanical Prodigy. So anytime that she has to roll her mechanical attribute, or that she's doing something with repair or engineering, something that would fall under this, she would gain a 3D bonus die for that. Kind of powerful,
She could,
but you know, also kind of good.
As a advantage, wouldn't she be able to use seduction?
Charismatic looks.
I mean, she is a Twi'lek, and Twi'lek females are beautiful, and she is a rare, red-skinned Twi'lek female.
I'm gonna minus that at. Oh God, that would be like a 4D or a 5D. Unless she's got scars all over her.
Hey, some scars on some people do look good. Depends on where they are and what they're.
We're gonna say 2D because, like I said, I don't want to like. So that pretty much just traded off everything there. So we still have the same number of D there. So this lady's got
they cancel each other out.
Yeah, I know. Stacy, you know, it's like Twilight, you know, Sarah's got it going on. No, I was kidding. But you know, her character template was not that costly. Only 7D. So we canceled those out. We got 7D out of it. We still got 13 that we can put in. Oh, for fuck's sake. We still got 13 dice that we could put into many different things around here. Very, very simply. And so let's see here. And as long as we don't go over, her dexterity has a maximum of 3D. Not sure why 3D, but I guess maybe that's how it went. Let's see here.
Twi'leks are rather quite flexible.
But they're also knowledgeable. Let's see if that's even correct.
You gave it says in the book that it's 4D.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
For knowledge.
Okay.
Maximum.
Yeah. Give me a hot second. I want to reference that. I won't argue it if it shows up somewhere and actual source material. I don't know if I screwed that up. Oh, I did. I did. I must have read something else differently. Oh, okay. So, let me see here. Okay, let me reference another thing real quick. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just referencing a bunch of shit just to figure out where my information came from.
Your butt.
Shush you. Twilight, Mistresses has got it going on. Oh, okay. So they did make some changes. Okay, I got that. All right. Well, 3D is still heavily, 3D maximum is still heavy for that. That's just physical. They're contortionists, people. All right. Okay. So here's what. Okay. I'm gonna roll because we got plenty of dice. I'm gonna roll 6d6s. If I can find a 6-1. Oh, here we are. Found a 6-1. I'm gonna roll 6d6s, and wherever the dice lay is wherever they lay. And that's how good. Well, hold up. Before we do anything, I am going to max out her mechanical. Which is only 2d plus 1 according to the resource I have here. Probably a little bit more and in more updated versions, but we're just gonna say we're gonna put that there. And now I gotta put a plus 2 somewhere else. I'm thinking. Ooh, you know what? There we go.
You
All
could put the +2. Yeah, you could put the +2 with dexterity. I was gonna mention technical.
Oh,
but yeah, that works.
Yeah, well, let's do that as well. That way I don't even have to roll randomly for it.
Because I mean, with her
Well,
being
no, I
the
did put it there.
with her being the starship's mechanic, she would need mechanical and technical kind of high.
Yeah, she would. I'm actually gonna do this with that one. Okay, and let's see. So I added 2 there. I added. All right, so I added 2 there. So let's see what we got here. Ooh, I got to do some math, people. This is gonna be hard. So 2 there.
We're making him think, people.
We're gonna say 1 there for now. There was a part of 1. There was like a third of 1 here.
You're lucky I'm here.
1 and 1/3. 1 and 1/3.
You're lucky that I'm here. I get to. I'm giving her the backstory. You're giving her the mechanics.
Okay, 2 there, 1 there, and then we're gonna do 1 there, and then we did a third, but then we did a whole one. That's 2/3 and a third. So I have 8 dice left. Okay, that's interesting. Well, let me put 1. Let me just roll 1 and see where that goes. 4. Perception. All right, and so 3D there. All right. Oh, good. Look at that. Okay, so that leaves 7 dice. 7 dice left for skills. All right, awesome. 7 skill dice left.
You want to make it 6 and give her 1 more boost to knowledge because she'd be a stupid ship captain.
Not really. She just doesn't know. She's a mechanic.
Yeah, and mechanics are supposed to be stupid.
That's more for general knowledge. The mechanic specialty is like right there. All right. So if we're gonna do this, I'm gonna use a specialty. I'm gonna create 1 specialty. I'm gonna probably create 3 of them. Let's see. We're gonna do space transport repair and engineering. So we're gonna go turn over. All right, so we got Space transport repair. We're going to at least put 2D in that. So that way it's something worthwhile having. She knows YT freighter models. We're going to give her 2D in that. That means she can pilot. If she's piloting a YT freighter model, she's doing it a lot easier than anybody else is. And with 2D in it, she's... Oh, shit. 2D plus 1, that's actually not bad. Damn, I'm going to roll like 4D, and I get a plus 1 to it, and it's going to be made at easier. So whenever they take a specialty, the level is supposed to be 1 level easier than its actual level at, I think. Or they just gain another wild die, one of the two. I can't remember. Okay, and moving... Alright, so I got 2 there, 2 there. So that's 4. I only got 2 more left. Well, the lady's going to have to be able to hold a small blaster when she's running. So I'm going to give her firearms. Let's see. Let's do blaster. Oh, wait a minute. I gave her a specialty too. So I don't think... So 2, 4. Gave her 1 specialty there. So that means I already broke one of the dice up. So I only have 1 dice left. But I can take 2 specialties. Yeah, go figure out how that one works. Didn't think that one through at all, did I?
No, you didn't.
Here, we'll do this one. One, 2, and then I can take 1 more. But this one's going to have to be at a so we're going to take blasters and... $1D. So there we go. And she's definitely going to have a blaster pistol on her. Also, she's going to be poor as well. And she only gets 200 credits to start off with. All right.
She just has to charm someone to give her some money.
What's a persuade check? What is the common thing for persuasion in this damn game? Let's find out. Persuasion, everybody. Starts off with fucking P. Do we got a seduction? Or is persuasion it for seducing? Persuasion is it. So, here we go. Persuasion is a perception. Which is actually one of her highest skills on there. And she's charismatic, so she gets another 2D. So that means I get to roll. I will grant her a 2D bonus, which means I get to roll these with 2 of these. Let's see how well our odds are. The red dice is the wild die. Let's see, 9, 13, 14. I don't know. That person's willpower is going to be pretty good. But there you go. That's how you guys make characters for freaking for Star Wars D6, everybody. Small little workshop there, while making a custom-made Kyber crystal. Real quick, actually, I may go check to see how much longer that may have. I don't know how the curing process works in a curer like that.
It took 2 to 4 hours.
Oh, okay, so it's not quite done yet. So, all right. Well, that's everything I have at this time. For anyone who joined in, thank you for the next 2.5 hours. for the last 2.5 hours. I'm getting ready to go watch a Star Wars thing myself, which Spartacus and I has been watching. Go check out Moonskull. I think those guys are pretty good. There was so much cool stuff there, sir. Oh, hey, somebody sent me something and said I found a copy of GURPS Robin Hood. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right, because somebody found an actual store with some actual stuff in it, like an actual gaming store, and they had a role-playing section, which, you know, it's hard to actually come by. All right, let me check on a few things real quick, and I think we'll call it. Chris, do you have anything else to add for our folks here?
There is no Disney Star Wars. There is only Star Wars in the EU.
That's kind of like going back and saying Disney Star Wars is a lie.
Exactly. And I think I found a blaster that she could use. I just sent it to you.
Oh, sweetness. All right, I will definitely check that out after the stream. All right, well, no role playing today, folks. We do have Star Wars coming up. We do have a Star Wars game coming up this Friday. It was supposed to be Castles and Crusades, but another thing came up, and I had to reschedule that. Damn it, these things keep coming up. Life is starting to get in the way. Trying to get around to everything. All right, Spreader Chris, you got anything else to add for this time being, or no?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, everyone who joined in, thank you so much for joining in. And remember to work hard, play hard, and game hard. Game on, everybody. You guys have a great and wonderful day.
Good
night.
night.
And please like and subscribe to my channel.